Welcome, my name is Audrey. I use she, her pronouns. And we are going to do some standing yoga poses with the chair for support. So it's just a really nice modifier for a lot of familiar poses. And if you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe to the Yoga Wild channel to support free online yoga. So let's get started. We'll start in our chair and we'll work our way up just because that's a nice strengthener as well. So scooting to the edge of your chair with your knees right underneath your ankles here. We're going to come into chair pose. So Utkatasana, just in a chair. So arms are reaching diagonally. We kind of shift our weight forward slightly and just experiment with leaning forward, noticing the length of the spine or how that might feel in the back body. And then feel your belly button reaching up towards your spine. So as you lengthen and extend in this diagonal shape, you should feel a nice heaviness in your glutes, but then a lot of work being done in your core. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. We're just going to stay here for another few breaths before we transition. And if your arms are getting tired, arms across to your shoulders is a really nice option as well. So on your next breath, we're going to shift even more until you start to feel weight in your heels. So shifting, 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 and then we get off the chair. We're going to sink into the chair, or our little fake chair, for a little bit longer. Shoulders are pulled back, tailbone is tucked in, belly button is active, kneecaps are lifted. And then from here, pushing into the earth to lift up, exhale, reaching the hands down to your side. So we'll do two different versions of downward facing dog. So I'm going to just come to the back of my chair, and this is a little bit larger of an angle for down dog. So we're going to start with our hands on the top part of our chair and just walking our feet back. And just make sure you have about legs distance, maybe a little bit more behind you. You're going to bend your knees slightly and just experience this down dog with the chair. So you might explore bending one knee at a time. So that opposite hip pulls back. And you can also explore bending your knees deeply or extending for more of a sort of hamstring stretch. But just explore. Feel your tailbone reaching back behind you. So really like in downward facing dog with your hands on the floor, it's the same kind of feeling. You're lifting your hips and then you're sinking your heels into the ground. You can push into your chair, just make the arms a little bit more active so that you can have this nice full body stretch and extension. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Notice if we're kind of hammocking in the spine. You want to keep that integrity by pulling the belly button up and in, and then just making sure your ears are sort of around your biceps or your neck is in line with the rest of your spine. So take another breath here, maybe bending again. And then slowly looking towards your hands, we'll walk back up to our chair. So we'll try this position just a little bit lower. So now the angle is a little less, a little bit closer to the traditional version. So with the hands on the base of the chair where your bottom goes, you're going to bring your hands there and then just walking your feet back again. So this might feel a little different in the body. So just to notice what sensations are coming up for you as you push into the chair, lifting your hips up. So feel your sits bones lifting up towards the sky as the heels reach down. Continue actively pushing into your chair, sending your belly button up and in, and breathing. Stay here for a few more breaths, and bend and extend in whatever way feels nice. On your next breath, again, looking towards your hands, just be really slow to come up, especially with an inversion. You might feel something in your body, so just take it nice and slow until you come up into standing. So from here, we're going to come into triangle pose. So we'll start on our left side with our right foot reaching towards our chair. So the right foot is pointing towards the chair, and then your left foot is reaching forward, or pointing forward rather. So from here, arms are going to extend out to the side, and then we're going to hinge at the hips, pulling your left hip back. You're going to reach, 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 And then from here, it's kind of your choice. So you can have a little bend through this right knee, and maybe you grab onto the top of the chair, or maybe you get a hold of the bottom of the chair. So both are really good options. And then this right arm is going to reach up. So staying here, you can think about your right rib cage pulling through to the front of the room, keeping a nice slight bend through this right leg, and just stacking the hips, feeling this extension through your left rib cage. Arm is reaching up towards the sky. Stay here for one more breath. Continue pushing into your feet. Lightness through the right hand. And then from here, pretty deep bend through your right foot or right knee. You're going to bend to come out of the pose. And just shake out the shoulders. So same thing, other side. So I'm just going to move over to the right side. And then from here, you're going to have your left toes pointing towards the chair and your right toes out in front. So arms reach out to your side, nice length through the spine. And then from here, your right hip comes to the right. You lean, lean, lean. And then maybe this side, you get a hold of a different part of the chair. But finding a comfortable position for your hand on the chair. Slight bend through your left knee if you need it. And then reaching your right arm up. Staying here, this left rib cage is pulling through to the front space here. Notice if we're gripping the floor with our toes, see if we can find ease in this pose. Take 2 breaths. And then on our next breath, we can bend the knee closest to the chair, sending this hand down and slowly coming out of this pose, and maybe shake out the hips a little bit. So from here, let's come through tree pose. So I'll return to the left side and using our chair as a sort of prop. So the wall is also a great option too if the chair is a little bit low for your height. But from here, we're going to send our left foot out to the left, and then bringing our heel up to reach our other heel. You can stay here. This might be already a lot of work for the ankles to stabilize. Feel free to stay here, opening up through this left knee, sending this left knee towards the back room. So staying here, maybe that foot gets a little bit higher on your calf, and then you're still opening up through this left hip. You might notice that we're sinking into the right hip, so try to really lengthen through your standing foot, and again, use the chair as needed, maybe kind of tapping or experimenting with taking the hand on and off, or maybe fully just on. Stay here for a few breaths. This hand that's free might come up or to center or just kind of flow through. One more breath here. And then exhale, slowly lower. So same thing, other side. So coming to the right side of our chair. And now our right foot points out. And then we send our heel to go a little bit higher than our ankle on our other side. So now we open up our right hip, sending the knee back behind us. Maybe you come up to your calf. And again, using this chair as support, maybe going to the back side of the chair might be more helpful for you, both hands on the chair. And then from here, just finding your drishti, finding your focal point, feeling balanced here, noticing any wobble, that nice work happening in the ankle, and just embracing the sensation that might be happening there as you create this balance. So again, maybe the arm reaches up, that's free, or you can have both to support if you're in the back side of the chair. Stay here for one more breath, keeping that hip open. And then slowly coming out of tree pose. And just shake out your hips. So from here, let's come back through chair. And it can be nice, especially if we still want to build some strength at this point, to come through chair pose to get back to your chair. So you're going to bend your knees, coming into chair pose, Utkatasana. So weight is in the heels here. And then you can bring your hands to opposite shoulders and just maybe looking back so we are still feeling safe, slowly coming into our chair. And just shake out your shoulders. So let's just finish this sequence, just getting some openness through our knees and our shoulders, since we worked a lot in our standing poses. So we're going to grab opposite shoulders again, and then lifting the elbows up to shoulder height, we're just going to rock the elbows side to side. So Notice the core working here. Notice the sort of feeling of the sway side to side. And then this time we're going to grab the opposite way, so putting the other non-habitual side on top. So the more awkward side will do. Again, side to side. And then from here we'll go up and down, so sort of a cat-cow. So on our inhale, lifting up our elbows. Exhale, letting our elbows get heavy towards our knees. One more set here. Inhale, opening up the elbows, opening up the front body. Exhale, elbows get heavy towards knees. On our inhale, elbows can come to shoulder height. And then exhale, relaxing the hands down and shaking out your shoulders. So let's just practice lifting up our knees. So we're going to start with our left side. We're going to pick up our left knee. So grabbing underneath your thigh or underneath your kneecap in the front can be a good option, or just practicing without the hands is great too. So we're just going to stay here for a little bit, maybe getting some ankle rotation, switching directions. Just moving it around pretty fluidly here. And then we'll go pointing down and pointing up. And then side to side, so trying to get each edge of the big toe and small toe to reach towards the floor. Kind of awkward. And then exhale, slowly lower. So same thing, other side. So now grabbing onto your right knee, maybe underneath the knee or underneath your thigh. And then again, maybe practicing that movement throughout your ankle. Noticing what kind of shape you're creating between each side. Switching directions here. And then going up and down, up and down. And then side to side. So kind of like a pendulum, swinging side to side, getting each edge towards the floor. One more breath here, keeping that knee lifted. Exhale, slowly lower. So we'll take a few breaths here just to end practice. So take an inhale. And an exhale. Inhale here. And exhale. So that was some standing poses where you can use the chair for support. Thank you. Again, my name is Audrey. And if you could, send this video to someone that might benefit from some ankle strengthening or from some balancing using a chair. Or you could just like this video. Thank you.